What's up, everybody? It's already Construction. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, as well as Instagram, YouTube. Like us, share us, tell people about us with your hosts, Komp and
psychological horror drama film.
Today's film is
A Tale of Two Sisters, 2003.
A Tale of Two Sisters, 2003. Jung-ah, Jung-young. Oof. A family is haunted by the tragedies of deaths within the family. Directed by Jee-woon Kim. Written by Jee-woon Kim. Starring Kap-su Kim, Jung-ah, Soo-jung Lim, and a whole bunch of other people. Stanley, why'd you pick A Tale of Two Sisters?
Because I'm on a Korean horror film kick.
Racist.
I'm trying to see all of the top-rated ones.
Very racist.
This is the guy that did I Saw the Devil.
Yes. You should have went like Seinfeld and said, "How could it be racist if I like it?" All right.
That's the one with the Native American, right?
Ah, yes, very good. So yes, this film, A Tale of Two Sisters. I saw this movie a long time ago. I must have seen it right 2005 or something like that.
Wow.
This was the, I don't know. The IMDb says that it's still the number, not still, but it says it's the #1 grossing Korean movie.
Isn't it the first Korean movie we've ever seen here, or something? Or like, I read something like that.
I have no clue. I mean, this is the one that sort of bolstered the Korean cinema besides Old Boy.
Well, I think this is the first one to make it over here.
Really, could be.
To America.
Old Boy, I think Old Boy came around at the same time, so it could be. So maybe this came before that, but this was definitely.
Yeah. I'm reading it. It's on the wiki. It is both the highest-grossing Korean horror and the first to be screened in American theaters.
Okay, that's cool. So maybe this is one of the ones that had its first sort of, because obviously they've been doing fun Korean movies since the '80s. Like they've been doing.
Well, I guess first horror.
There's movies, movies back from the '90s and stuff like that. But I remember seeing this a long time ago, and I remember, much like every other Korean film, by the end of it, I felt horrible by the end of watching the movie.
This one actually didn't leave me feeling quite as desolate. As
No, because listen, here's the thing, because they do a switcheroo with the ending, where the ending has taken. I meant switcheroo as in the placement of where it happens in the film. Like obviously, what happens at the end of the film actually has happened at the very beginning of the movie. But it's more of like, oh, fuck. Like, why'd you have to leave on that scene? Like, I know it ended up good, but this is still fucked up. So we'll get to that. So this film centers around...
Well, it doesn't end up good. There's nothing good.
Well, the fact is that the witch of a stepmother who left the girl to die is killed at the end, but then they decide to flash back and show her nonchalantly walking away, so you're like, oh, this sort of ends on a fucked up version. So it's fucked up in that sense that she does get her comeuppance, but we're seeing her be a complete bitch at the end and say, oh, you'll regret this. So it's sort of one of those, we're looking at the lead character fuck up by not going back to check on the sister and the mother. So it's one of those things. So give us a basic outline of what this film is about.
It is about these two sisters, well, one sister really, who, you don't know this though, but she's with her sister and she's got this horrible stepmother that she hates and who abuses the little sister, and the dad seems just kind of like indifferent to the whole thing, and then you find out that she's crazy. You know what this reminded me of? This reminded me of like a Korean Sixth Sense.
I can see that. I can see that.
I don't know when Sixth Sense came out, probably around the same time.
Probably. Soo-mi is the quasi-protagonist.
No, Sixth Sense came out in 1999. Wow.
Okay, so maybe this took from Sixth Sense.
Yeah, Soo-mi is like the main. I mean, really, everything is Soo-mi because the stepmother isn't even real.
Right. So Soo-mi
she is real, but not her version of it.
Yeah, Soo-mi has had a psychotic break. The movie starts out with Soo-mi being brought. She's at a psychological institute or something like that. You know, somebody for. I think the scientific term is for nut jobs, and so she's sitting down. This doctor is basically saying, what happened in this incident, and flashes back to her relationship with her sister Soo-young, and Soo-mi and Soo-young are like very inseparable. They're very nice. Soo-young is somebody who's like a little bit more
nice.
You know what I mean? They're nice sisters. They're just. What do you want me to say? They're bitches or something? What the fuck? So Soo-young is more childlike of the two, right? She's sort of one of those, like, you want to protect the little sister types, and Sumi is always clashing with the stepmother, who's a real witch. But the thing is, I thought an interesting film because it has the gigantic switcheroo happens in the middle of the film, as opposed to
I was like, where's it gonna go from here? Like,
right,
I really was confused.
Everybody was trying to be M. Night Shyamalan before M. Night Shyamalan, although this was an
came
M.
out
Night
2 years
Shyamalan
after,
thing. Yes,
actually.
So I guess everybody's trying to be M. Night by having this, like, oh, he was dead the whole time, and the fact that they do it in the middle of the film takes a little bit of the sort of expectations off of him. Because they're like, it happened midway. Okay, that's fine. So let's see what happens. So but the thing is, you got a little bit more to worry about after. Like, how do you stick the landing after something like that? But it focuses more on sort of the crafting of the film. This is a very different film than I Saw the Devil, where I Saw the Devil was just manic, sort of insanity and just brutality. And
the old man in this, the dad, is I guess he's like a co-worker of the chief in I Saw the Devil.
Okay. Yeah, this guy looks like a final boss in a video game. Like, the father in this looks like...
He's like he's the cop that's friends with the chief dad guy.
I'm just saying physically, he looks like he has the silver hair, so you like expected him to say, "You can't defeat me." Like
he'd open up his suit and there'd be like an Uzi inside it or something.
Yeah. So the whole film is more of it's psychological and visually more sort of relaxed in a sense.
Yeah, and the music is great too.
Yeah, and I'm just comparing it to I Saw the Devil. It's very, very nicely. Just everything's just really beautiful looking. Like, everything's more painterly. Not that I Saw the Devil is to take away from that. I'm trying to just compare the.
I Saw the Devil is much more like aggressive feeling.
Like these two, yeah, right, exactly. These two films of his are so opposed in just the way that they're made.
And when did I Saw the Devil came out? Like way later, right?
Oh yeah, it's in 2010. So this is like 7 years after.
Okay.
And but the guy's obviously very fucking talented in what he does, and it shows you that he's able to do a hard thriller in one case and then a psychological drama with the other. Apparently, a lot of his films are just like his movies are just like always very good. Like and I have to see his movies. There's a lot of Korean cinema that I have not seen that I let a stretch. Apparently, from 2003.
Yeah, I've only seen like 10 maybe.
From 2003 through 2010, and still, Korean movies are still well made. There was a slew of movies. Like, he directed a film called The Bittersweet Life. He made a film called The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. Uh-huh. And also, there's a movie I don't think
horror though, right?
No, those are just straight sort of dramas, or action or thriller sort of films. Yeah. And I was surprised when I saw it that he directed this thing called Ilang the Wolf Brigade, which is it's like a weird sort of proto science fiction army movie where the army guys are dressed up in these weird mech suits that look really fucking great. And because it wasn't a Japanese anime, it's based on a Japanese anime.
Okay.
By Mamoru Oshii, I believe, is a guy, or not Mamoru, whoever the fuck directed Neon Genesis Evangelion. Anyway, so it's just like this weird sort of science fiction movie, and it's on Netflix now. So it's called Ilang the Wolf Brigade. So I gotta know that it has to be fucking quality if this guy did it. He worked on Three Extremes 2. I only saw the first one. But either way, this guy knows what the fuck he's doing. And just the tone of this film, like the shocks in this film are...
It's more like creepy, slow build-up things.
Right.
There was a point, though, where I actually was like, ah!
Same here. Was it the part when the mother reached down for the hairpin under the sink?
Yeah, and I knew something was going to happen.
You know it's coming.
I knew it was going to happen. Also, the part where it's her as the girl, and she's like also on the ground or something, and then you see over her shoulder the mom, the corpse mom, is like with a broken neck, is like sitting in a chair or something. I don't know. I mean, I know that's like very typical nowadays, but like it still creeps me out when I see that kind of stuff.
It's just a very construction of how the scenes go and the film looks. It's very, very pretty looking film, and it's not overacted. It's very subdued. Especially when people get scared, it's not that bad. Because like the part where she reaches for I think it's a hairpin, right? Or it's just sort of a pin for clothing. She's reaching.
It looked like an earring, maybe. I wasn't really sure.
She was reaching for it underneath the sink, and she knows that there's something in there, and just like a hand comes out and grabs her, and I was like, oh fuck. And then she turns around because there's like a girl standing in front of her, and instead of like showing the monster's face, it just like it crossfades into a hand with pills in it. And I was like, wow, that is just so well done. Because in reality, like in movies, they never really show what happens right after. Like, you know, when somebody says something prolific to somebody else, like, you know, two characters are talking, and the guy will say, well, that's not in the details. And then it'll just cut to the next scene of the next day. I'd be like, what the fuck did you just say to me? Like, what are you talking about? Like, and it does it here, but it's just so well, like, so pretty. The movie's so pretty looking. Yeah, so spooky. It has this great.
It has like weird cuts, like where, like, there's one point where it's just like panning down a blanket, and you just see like the color of the blanket, and then it goes to the next scene. But
just by even looking at even looking at the opening credits, where it's just it looks like a collage artwork, and then it just starts moving around, looking weird, like just. Everything about this film just like sort of screams, and it doesn't. Like I'm sure somebody outside would be like, "Oh, that's pretty pretentious the way it looks," but I don't think
this movie is pretentious
I don't think
at all.
so either. But that's the thing. That's the sort of thing you kind of have to get prepared in watching.
I've seen like a lot of pretentious movies.
Oh yeah, same here.
This is not a pretentious movie.
Yeah, there's something very very classical about this film.
So the ghost is real.
Yes, because
but I mean, obviously, I don't think her version of the ghost is real. Maybe, but there is a ghost. I mean, maybe it is.
Well, I mean, when the stepmother is in the house at night, the ghost attacks her, right? So, what do you think?
Yeah, happened? No, she definitely. I mean, it implies she gets killed by a ghost. But I'm saying when the little girl is imagine cuddling with her sister, is that the real ghost too, or is that just her? Being a crazy person?
I think that's just her sort of losing her mind.
Because she's also imagining she's the stepmom. But then I was confused because she's imagining she's the stepmom, but then the stepmom actually is a real person.
Right. It was just we were looking at her interpretation of her in the beginning.
Yeah, but then I guess that stepmom was out of the house for like a week or something. I don't know.
So apparently this is based on a fairy tale. I guess it's a Korean fairy tale.
What a fucked up fairy tale.
Yeah, I wonder maybe it's not as fucked up as it is, you know. It says the movie is inspired by famous Korean folk tale.
Oh yeah.
Called Jung-ah Hyung-ryong.
Rose Flower and Red Lotus.
Which is that what it is? Can you Google that and see what?
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Okay, does it say what the storyline is? Which, although has been adapted to film several times, this one specifically is not a remake of any of them and is its own original project. Okay, so I'm sure they took like. It's sort of like if you did Hansel, like, did you ever see the movie, you gotta see this movie, it's great, it's not a horror movie, but it's fucking great, it's called Freeway, but it's based...
the movie with you know what's really funny? I watched that like 3 weeks ago. I've seen it a lot as a kid, but then, like, my friend showed it to me, like, 3 weeks ago, like, thinking I hadn't seen it, I was like, I know this movie!
So, Freeway is based as a version of Little Red Riding Hood, and Kiefer Sutherland is playing like a sexual fucking serial killer, and he's the wolf.
You know what's really funny about that movie? This is like something I noticed. The guy, like one of the cops, is a black cop, and he doesn't believe her at all. And remember, she says like all this racist shit about black people to him,
right? So she can piss him off.
And and then like. He finds out that she had a black boyfriend, and his whole perception changes, and you see his face like, oh my god, and then he, like, believes her now.
My favorite part is
that was really funny.
It's a funny movie. It's like such a weird movie. I remember just, like, one scene in no particular order. There's a girl who stands up, and there's a shot on her, like, what is it called when a girl's wearing, like, camel toe? Like... It's just an explicit shot of like you just see explicit shot of camel toe for no reason. And
was that in the prison?
So no, she was talking to the cops in the classroom. She was the girl with the cast on her. Anyway, everybody go see Freeway.
The girl in the prison was super hot. The one that she beats the shit out of.
They made a sequel called Freeway 2.
It must be terrible.
No, it's a fucking bizarre movie, and it's worth watching too. But it's based on Hansel and Gretel. And it's fucking weird.
Is it the same characters?
No, it's like it's a different story with different characters.
The way it ends is like she just like killed Kiefer Sutherland or whatever, and then she asked the cops.
Remember how the grandma looked in the bed?
Yeah.
You've got okay. We're jumping off of this movie. Go see Freeway and Freeway. Freeway 2 is. It's as bizarre.
I'll watch
insane.
That
the end of that movie is insane. Anyway, go see those movies. But anyway, I was just saying that this is just an adaptation of a folk tale. I'm trying to figure out what the original storyline is, but I guess I
clicked on it. You keep talking.
Okay. So anyway, there's only so much I can keep saying about this director's work because the guy is obviously fucking quality, and the acting is just clear across. Everything is really good. And Korean films once again proves South Korean cinema. Once again proves that it's fucking quality cinema. And just like, I guess, Mexican cinema...
Okay, basically the folk story is that this lady had a bunch of kids, then she died, and the stepmother was horrible and abused the kids, and they never told the dad about it.
Well, what a story.
Yeah, I mean, there's more, but like, I'm not reading that.
So, like I was saying, the Mexican cinema is also great too. It's like that lends itself more to art house, and Korean is more mainstream. But one thing I did remember just recently when I was looking at the trivia, it was remade as an American film called The Uninvited, and it was properly shitted on by everybody. I didn't see it.
Why do we have this obsession with remaking movies?
I mean, they originally were going to call it A Tale of Two Sisters, and then they just called it The Uninvited, and that actually had a good cast in it. The Uninvited. It has Emily Browning in it. I don't know if you remember who Emily Browning is. She was in the.
I think I know her.
She's this cute British girl. She was in the only thing I remember like seeing her in anything was that fucking. What was that?
I'm looking at it.
I guess I would just click on IMDb.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
The Tale of Unfortunate Events, whatever that shit is called.
Yeah.
It with. I would love to see the show on Netflix, but I just cannot buy fucking what's his name, that guy Doogie Howser as him. Anyway, because I read all those fucking
Doogie
books.
Howser is awesome.
I know, but I mean, like he's whatever. And then it also had David Strathairn as a very good fucking actor. And he has a very good line reading because they used to play it at my theater.
Their first mistake was trying to remake.
Of course, yeah. There's no reason to make this.
It's not like it's a pretty good movie. Let's remake it. It's like a masterpiece.
I didn't watch. I've only seen the ending of that film because it played at the theater when I worked at it for a while. And Elizabeth Banks shares obviously the same fate, but then they try to do the switcheroo happens at the end instead of being in the middle like this film. And I don't think it was as beautifully shot as the other one. I'm not sure. I can't make that judgment call. But David Strathairn has like a good line at it when he's like, "What did you do? What did you like?" Good acting. I'm like, "Oh, too bad." Like they didn't, I guess, do this for the rest of the film. But that's what happens. Like movies like that, when they try to take Asian horror films and they just fuck it up. It's almost like when we saw
The Ring was not good either.
Remember when we saw Cairo Pulse? You know the movie.
Yeah.
When.
Did they try to remake that?
They did remake it, and I saw it in the theater, and Danny is the worst.
What did they call it? The remake.
We'll see it again one day. I think it's called Pulse. They remade it called Pulse.
I don't want to see it. I like the original.
It was at the time. Cairo was my favorite Japanese horror film before Noroi came, and it was like I just got slapped. Is
Noroi the one with the guy that wears the tinfoil hat?
Yes. Noroi's the one with the tinfoil hat.
That's a cool one.
But Cairo was the more sort of darkly depressing.
It's very abstract. That was on with the ink and shit, right?
Yeah, and the like the shadow people in the arcade. That movie, like I don't mind talking Asian cinema for a second, like one more second, but the difference between Noroi and Cairo is that they're both unsettling films. I think Noroi is a much more, like, just fucked up. Just, like, scary. Noroi is fucked up, and Cairo is spooky.
It's more abstract, too, though.
Right. Like, the whole point of Cairo is people are losing interactions with each other because they're dealing with digital. It's a digital age, and people are just kind of behind computer screens instead of being with each other, so people start disappearing. It's sort of that thing.
Yeah.
And then you don't really have a point in your life anymore.
The ending, the last 10 seconds of that movie... The other one
of Noroi or Cairo,
the one with the tinfoil hat guy.
Yeah, that's Noroi. When that little boy comes back as a monster, it was fucking spooky as shit. Anyway, both those movies are great. Go see good Asian horror films. We are gonna do this Korean film that I saw once a long time ago called what the fuck is it? Reincarnation. That is
okay.
That is a greatest acting I've ever seen in a horror film. Anyway, with that, what rating would you give this film?
Oh, are we done? Okay.
What else do we want to talk about? We can only say it looked good 500 more times. It's a good-looking movie. Like, what else?
Yeah, I guess it's a really good movie.
Well,
okay.
Do you have any problems with it?
I mean, because this sort of thing has been done to death at this point, it is.
But I mean, this came out like.
I know. But it's still like, how many movies are there where the person's crazy? It was all a dream, or they were dead the whole time. Like, that's happened so many times. So like,
fair enough.
Because of that, probably if I had seen this 10 years ago, I would have liked it a lot better. Although I do like it a lot, and I think it's a really well made film.
I think the framing saves that. Like, it's the movie's well made enough that you're like, oh my god, they just fucked it up. And for the fact that they put it in the middle of the film makes it good.
Yeah. No, I know.
And plus,
I know.
you see her.
The story itself is like kind of like a little bland, but like
I get what you're saying.
But the film is like very well made.
And plus, it's also very satisfying to see when the stepmother.
And I love. Fucked. Before you know that she's crazy, I love like hearing her tell this whole story to the uncle or whatever. Right. And going on and on at the dinner table, and everybody's just like completely silent. Like, it's so uncomfortable.
It's really great performances all around. It's a great movie.
Yeah. Okay.
So what's your rating on it?
My rating. I'm gonna give this 9 out of 10. Seeing your stepdaughter with a closet and a dead mom on top of her, and deciding not to do anything, which you will one day regret, as per your own words.
I would give this an 8 out of 10. Bringing your wife over to see the family, and she ends up having a medical problem and sees ghosts, and you're like, boy, this is embarrassing.
She puked a lot.
That's a lot of puke, and it's upside down puke, which makes it grosser to me.
Yeah, it is grosser because it goes up your nose, and you get that bile. Horrible. You get that bile on the top of your nose, back of your mouth area.
I'm so paranoid about stuff going up my nose. And you know how they say when you jump into fresh water, like when you're up south and stuff like that, and that parasite that comes in and eats your brain and kills you.
You go in your dick.
That's the one in Brazil. I'm talking about the one that's in
the brain-eating
actual kind. U.S. The brain-eating amoeba. You'll die like a week after. And like, a friend of mine was doing.
Don't be paranoid because you're not going in any fresh water in the swamp.
I won't. Yeah, my friend. I wouldn't know. My friend did that thing. You know, when you clean your nose out with the neti pot.
Yeah.
He did that, and he did it without heating up the water, and he was paranoid for the next 3 days.
You know what? I read about it because I had a really bad cold one time, and I was like, and there's like one website that like makes it seem like it's so dangerous.
The end of the world.
But the reality is,
well, you gotta boil it first anyway.
No, but people do this shit all the time. Have you ever accidentally snorted water? I mean, it's really not that big a deal.
Oh yeah. You get that. Yeah, but I mean, like that's here because the water's treated. But when you're up there in fresh water, who knows what the fuck's in there? I just hate when you feel that sort of. I don't know. It feels like a chemical burn in your brain. Do you know what I mean? When you snort water.
When the amoebas eat your brain, yeah, it does feel weird.
When you snort that, no, I mean when you snort water, you feel it right in the middle of your fucking nose.
What the fuck are we talking about?
I don't know. We jumped to two different things. Anyway, what did I say? Our rating. Okay, so with that, Danny, what's the final word?
Brain eating.
The horror deconstruction.